Shinobi vlog. It is Sunday, day 27, 3 days to go of the vlog, nearly there. Today is a bike day, and today we're going to go exploring to find some new routes. So instead of going over the hills, I'm going to go the completely opposite direction towards some canals that run beside the fields that the farmers use. So we're going to try and avoid the dogs, bring the drone, hopefully it doesn't rain. Alright, let's do this.
Keep it. Ooh, yeah.
Guess who's back?
What's what you got?
How you getting on? Good? Good. Jaffa cake's the way to go. The future. You didn't know about the Jaffa cakes before? Old school. Before they had protein bars, we just had Jaffa cakes. Off-road on the sand. So down here, this is the lagoon in Lagos. Well, as you can see, there's fuck all water. I don't know where well, it's the supermoon has pulled all the water on, so we're on low tide, super low tide, and we'll ride along and then we're seeing all this shit. I don't know. Like, what the fuck is this? But what it is a farm for shellfish. As you can see up here. So in here you've got little cages where the shellfish are all breeding, and it just goes on for fucking forever. It's bizarre, isn't it? They're all inside here. All in there. Little shellfish. I don't want to stop in case I get stuck in the quicksand, so going back up again. 22 tours. I need those 650Bs though.
Right, I found the secret canals of Lagos. It's like the secret canals of Mars and the moon, but who knew these were here? So look, this, all these fucking I don't know what they're for. And they got netting over the top, and then over the far side, there's a little outboard motor there with, I don't know what they're doing. Some sort of filtration system. It's quite bizarre, isn't it? First puncture of the day, back wheel. It's only a slow one, but it's got to be done. When it's wet, you've got more chance of getting a puncture because the shit sticks to the sticky tires easier. So we'll just whip out the tube, stick another one in, and then we'll be gone.
These ones are loose. They're very soft. It's a soft compound. Like, it's a very fast compound, very grippy. You see all the water?
Yeah.
Do you know what that's from? Going through the rivers last week.
Is it?
Yeah. Goes in through the eyelets.
So that looks like it's good to go. Hopefully there's nothing sticking in the fucking tire.
Keep it. Ooh, yeah.
Guess who's back?
Yeah, we are off road. We're all gone.
What's what you got?
Right. This wasn't in last time. Alrighty then. That's a little. Hola, bom dia. Bom dia. Hola, bom dia. Bom dia. Tem bifanas? Quero dois bifanas. What do you want to drink? E dois colas. Dois Coca-Cola.
Steps. That's pretty dope, isn't it?
The top over the top, camp tonight.
Yeah. Bike 101.
Guess who's back?
Okay, now. So do you like? That's the bike spin done. That was about 4 hours. So it was a bit of a recce on trying to find some new routes. We found two things. We found a new route in what's it called? Ensafrin, and we found the best bifana we found so far. So 2 results today. The Osmo ran out of battery and didn't pack the spare one. Didn't get the drone up, it was way too windy. But all in all, good 4 hours. So to finish today's vlog, I'd like to do another piece on music. Yesterday I did Massive Attack. I didn't want to do a band today, but I just wanted to do an album, and an album that had a big effect on me. More so the backstory of who it was and what they produced, and the artist in the struggle. So a lot of artists have not had a comfortable life, but have struggled, come out the other side. And this was by a guy called Goldie, an album called Timeless, released in 1995. Goldie himself was a guy called Clifford Joseph Price, and he was a mixed race kid, half Jamaican, half Scottish, adopted, brought up in foster care, rebelled, became a graffiti artist, went to New York, hung out with the b-boys and the graffiti artists there, came back, ended up in Bristol, same as Massive Attack, and got into the dance scene and the rave scene down there. He was part of a collective called Metalheads, and they were into a thing called drum and bass, or jungle, and he was the first junglist to produce a mainstream album in 1995. It's a masterpiece of an album. The first track, Timeless, was the vocal was Diane Charlemagne, who sang with Moby and on this track. Researching this piece here, I found out that she died at the age of 51 in 2015 of kidney cancer, which is she had a powerful voice, but it's a sad thing to hear today. But that piece of music it is timeless. It's a masterful piece of work. I mean, it goes on. The start of it doesn't kick till 2 minutes 42, and when it kicks, put yourself on a set of decent headphones, lie down in a dark room, and just listen to it. It's wonderful. I met Goldie on 3 occasions, and they always say, "Don't ever meet your heroes." Is the first and only album I ever got anybody to sign, which I have here. And I was working in a place called Temple Bar Music Centre. It's known as the Button Factory now in Dublin, and I was a doorman. How I got into that was one of my mentors in life, Brian McCarthy, who was my ninjutsu teacher, had a security company, and he asked me to work as a doorman, and it was one of the things I never thought I'd do because I'm not a big guy. And he always said to me, well, it's not about being big, it's about being smart. And it was probably the best education I ever got in life, dealing with situations on the fly. But Goldie was playing, and he came in, and I brought in the album, and I got him to sign it, and I got a photograph with him. And he was marvellous. It was great. He was with his I think it was his wife at the time. And then the second time I met him, he was a complete another asshole. This is when he was going through his 3-row hypnol, bottle and a half of vodka, and an 8th of coke a night. And me and him nearly went to fisticuffs on the stage. He wouldn't get off, he wouldn't stop playing. And he put it up to me in front of like 600 people on the stage when I told him he couldn't play any more music. And it's the third time I just ignored him. But he's come out the other side of that. He's changed one form of addictions for another. He's into yoga now,
and he has this thing called Yo Gangster. It's like pop-ups of yoga he wants to bring it into prisons for people to access their youth, or not their youth, but just their inner self, and look within instead of being on an external level. So it's quite a good backstory, Goldie. He was on London Reel recently. I'll leave a link below, and it's a great. It's not even an interview. It's just him talking, because there's not too many questions, because he talks a lot, but he's very honest, and it's. He talks about how he's an alchemist, how the art is in the struggle. And a lot of artists have struggled in their earlier years, come through, express themselves through whatever art, and come out the other side. It's kind of almost like a therapy. So if you've never heard the album Timeless, if you're a kid from the millennium, check it out. It's a wonderful piece of work. Every time I hear it, it just brings me back to a time. It's like time travel. I suppose music is, to me, like time travel. Certain tracks remind you of certain things, like certain smells, certain tastes, but music for me brings me back to emotion, and I find it very emotional. So not in a sense where I start crying, but it's emotional as in it. I remember certain times, and this time was a happy time in my life. 1995, those early 90s. I'd met Candy, we were going out. I'd met a cool bunch of people. Used to go to the Kitchen nightclub every night. So that's it. So that's my recommendation for today. Goldie, Timeless. And that's the end of today's vlog. So check out the music. And as DJ Bridge always says, music is life, and a lot of it is, yeah. So till the next one, #Rafter.
I think if the whole record company would have agreed to do this with an orchestra in the very beginning, it would have been an absolute failure. They wasn't ready for it. The world wasn't ready for this to be played like this. And now it's ready. It's like the articulation and the way the technology is enveloped, i.e. become timeless. And that's what the difference is with this project, that some things need to be left alone for a very long time.
Goldie was a huge influence for me growing up, from spray can art as a kid through to metalheads and everything else. So he was on the top of my list, actually. I think he made the Sgt. Pepper of drum and bass. You know, I think that Timeless is the best drum and bass album. You know, to me, there are records that change the way that you hear music. Inner City Life, as a song, as a piece of music, it's the unfinished sympathy of drum and bass. It's the keep on moving of drum and bass. It's, you know, to me, the first time I heard that record, Giles Peterson played it in a club that we used to have, and it was just one of those moments I'll never forget. You know, you just were like, fuck me. I just can't explain, and I think it's a, you know, it's a record that stands up, and you know, and that song particularly, I think, is one of the most important moments in dance music.
using electronic sound and being able to make this work. The technology wasn't here 20 years ago to do what we're doing now, to be fair. We did Glastonbury, you know, with like Yamaha 01s, you know, main stage and a triangle stage. And, you know, you're hitting samples and doing stuff and MIDI clicks. It's come a long way, and I think that, in that sense, the Heritage are the only people that could possibly play it. On a personal level, the fact of this has always haunted me, to be able to have these ghost loops going round in terms of what I want to achieve, what I want to do. And I think it'll go down in history tomorrow. What we do today creates tomorrow. And I think that's even more said by the way that these guys have gone about doing it. I think that this project is an amazing project that can tour the world, that can tour, you know, all of these great stadiums, to be, you know, for people to champion electronic music in a way which is the old guard, do you know what I mean? And that really means a lot to me, and it makes me believe that it was worth all of this pain and heartache and sleepless nights and, you know, everything that I got involved with.
Thank you so much, South Bank. It's mine and ours forever.